Joining me today is a friend, a mentor, a living legend, and a man who needs no introduction. The King himself, that's what it says right there.
Hi, wow.
Larry King.
Thank you, David. It's great to be with you. I was with you before you joined this network.
You were. We've done this a couple times.
That's what, once at a weird place. Where did you do that?
That
show?
was, well, that doesn't matter.
It's kind of weird. It's a loft I walked
We were in a weird loft. We did this once, the first time. You did my radio show many years ago in the Waldorf Astoria Hotel, right when you started Aura.
In New York?
Yeah, in New York. That was our first time together. Then we did that weird loft. The Waldorf Astoria, the night of my senior prom, high school prom, was the night of the O.J. Simpson car chase. And I was at the Waldorf Astoria having my senior prom. I'm pretty sure you probably know where you were at that moment.
I was broadcasting the car chase.
Yeah.
From Washington with maps of L.A. and, it was incredible night.
Yeah. Do you like that kind of stuff more than the
I like everything.
The
David,
politics?
I like all of communicating. I like interviewing sports people. I like politics. I like entertainment. I like the whole ball of wax. I like doing movies. I like acting. I like making people laugh. I like touring. I think what I love most is communicating. I've been curious all my life. Curiosity runs me. I'm not the kind of person you want to sit next to on an airplane.
I'm pretty sure that people would be happy to sit next to you.
No, I drive nuts. Yeah, you'd think that to start with.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm sitting next to. No.
No.
I flew from New York to L.A. with the president of Audi.
All right.
And he sat down. Oh, Larry King, I'm so proud to meet you. I knew after an hour.
This guy.
And he started going to the men's room frequently, eating his food slowly and looking the other way, napping, faking naps. But I learned more about cars than you could ever imagine.
Yeah. So
because I was insatiable. So that's the way I am. To learn about anything, he could have been a graphic designer, an accountant, a plumber. I'm just fascinated.
Where do you think that comes from? Because really, I know that from you. You're like a sponge. You want to know about these people.
I remember being a kid. I'll tell you some of my earliest memories. 10 years old, go to a Dodger game with friends, Ebbets Field, Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah.
Players coming out of the dressing room at the end of the game. My friends want autographs. I never wanted autographs. I would ask questions. Why'd you bunt?
Yeah.
What happened there in the third inning? Why'd you take that pitcher running down the street? I'd get on a bus and ask a bus driver, why do you want to drive a bus? And that continued with me. And so what I took was this insatiable curiosity into a profession that warmed to it.
Yeah.
The art of interviewing. And now I do a master class in interviewing. We've got tapes going out. I just love the whole concept of this.
Yeah.
I like asking questions I like being asked.
Yeah.
So I love the idea of communication. I don't text.
I know.
I'm a verbal person.
I've seen you dictate your tweets, so I know what's going on.
I dictate them. I don't type them.
Yeah.
But I like speaking.
Do you feel freer now that you do some of this stuff too? Because I sense that in the last couple of years you're a little freer with your own personal opinions.
I am, because my whole career was based on. We used to have a contest in Miami. Who does Larry? Is he a Republican or a Democrat?
Yeah.
Because I've always had the respect of both sides. I've never had a political guest turn me down. But yeah, I'm 82 years old. And so I've never actually said who I've ever voted for, but I'll give opinions on issues as they come up.
Yeah.
Whether they be independent, Republican, or Democrat. But I will voice an opinion on issues. I have strong feelings. I always had strong feelings in the area of prejudice. When I went down to Miami to break into broadcasting, I took a train down to live with my uncle while I looked for a job, and first thing I saw was a colored water fountain. I'd never seen that. And so I drank out of the colored fountain instead of the white fountain. I sat in the back of the bus, and the bus driver stopped and asked me to move to the front of the bus because the back was for Negroes.
Wow. And
I said my father was Negro. And so I've always been big on segregation, and that I always was.
Yeah.
But on other issues now, if if I have an opinion on an issue, I'll give it.
Could you believe it? I mean, like in segregation in the South, could you believe, like it seems so obvious to you, obviously,
I try to explain
right
it to my kids. They're 17. I have older kids, but my 17-year-old and 16-year-old sons, I went with them to the movie 42, the Jackie Robinson movie, and they were looking at this as, wait a minute, he was booed just because he was black? You know,
Yeah.
try to comprehend that I lived through all that society, McCarthyism, segregation, and the idiocy of segregation. I mean, the utter stupidity. I'll give you an example of it. Ross Perot gave this to me. The economic stupidity of segregation. In the South, when they built an office building or a high school, they had to build 2 bathrooms, 2 women's bathrooms, 2 male on each floor, much bigger plumbing costs.
Yeah.
They segregated blacks in certain schools, whites in certain schools. The education system from blacks was poorer. So when the blacks got older, how were they going to buy Buicks?
So
Made
just
no,
purely-
no economic sense.
Right, so
to
purely-
hold any people down makes no economic sense.
Yeah. So even if you're not doing it at the human level, just the economic level, you would think people would hear that.
Hitler's idiocy. He threw out of Europe, or killed or threw out, the Jewish community, which was first Germanic and then Jewish. So he threw out Einstein.
Yeah.
He threw out great scientists,
and
leaders,
professionals, yeah.
who enhance your community.
Yeah.
So whenever you diffuse any part of a community, it's insane, like on religion or color. How could you be against someone because of their color? What? That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
it's crazy.
You know, it's funny. I can see it in you, like that. It legitimately seems crazy to you.
I'll give you the best example
Yeah.
of total craziness.
Yeah.
I'm interviewing Ray Charles, the wonderful, blind, great singer.
Yeah, he thought you were black.
No. Ray Charles was in Florida, grew up in Florida, and he's in high school. It's a segregated high school. Blind kids. They're all blind.
Wait, he was in a segregated blind high school.
Right. They put whites on one side, blacks on the other side. So he knew he was sitting next to a black because the white was on the other side.
Wow. I mean, that's really
Is that
yeah.
crazy?
It's just crazy. All right, so all that being said, it seems like we're in a crazy political time right now, but I'm pretty sure you'd argue that the arc of this thing has been pretty good, right? Like, actually, we're in a much better state.
The people, as Les Moonves said it, CBS loves this.
Yeah.
They may not love Trump, but they're making a lot of money off Trump because what Trump has provided is the kind of thing on the screen you can't turn off. I don't know what it is. I mean, I've known Trump for years. He's been on my show 100 times.
Yeah.
I talk to him all the time.
Yeah.
We're friends. He was very nice. When I had my surgery in New York, he took my wife out to dinner. He was always very nice to me, very accommodating. And I see this now. I look at him.
Yeah.
And I realize that now, in this different setting, when he stands up there with his speeches, a lot of time, half hour saying nothing. Half hour saying how well he's doing.
Yeah, right.
But I'm fixated. Fixated. And he, you know, you look back, he destroyed some of these candidates in one. He destroyed Jeb Bush, just low energy. He pointed to him, said low energy, and then every time you saw Jeb, you said low energy.
Yeah, little Marco Rubio.
Little Marco Rubio.
Yeah.
Lion Cruz. And he just gets on it. And no matter what you say, it doesn't matter. No matter what he says, I've never seen a political figure like this.
Yeah, so as an interviewer, when you've interviewed him, and granted, usually it was before he was running. I think you did do an interview with him a couple of months ago, right, just as he started. How do you
I think he's on again this week.
Oh, all right, so then I'm going to hold you to this answer, whatever you're going to tell me right now. How do you pin someone down that is so good at not saying it?
You try as best you can, because he takes your question and doesn't answer it, goes off into another area. I mean, I asked him in the interview a little while back, if I do say so myself, was a pretty good question. And I'll tell you how he handled it. I said, Donald, supposing someone came up to you and said, Mr. Trump, I'm 45 years old. I'm an illegal immigrant. I came here 25 years ago, picked grapes. And now I'm the foreman of that agriculture company. We have thousands of employees. They answer to me. My son is a basketball star. He's at Notre Dame High School. And my daughter is a harpist. She's a junior at the same high school. My wife teaches school at UCLA. You want to send me back? How would you answer him, Donald?
And what do he give you?
I'd have to think about it. I'll let you know.
So when he...
I'll let you know. You don't know what you'd say? No, I'd have to think about it. It's a good point.
Yeah.
I'd have to think about it.
So in a weird way, is there two things happening in the country? There's sort of the people that care about the issues, right? Whatever they may be. You care about foreign policy or you care about minority rights or whatever. And then there's this other thing happening, this sort of cultural candidacy, and that's what he's really hitting on. He's hitting on people that are just tired
Angry.
Of political correctness, tired of not being able to say anything. So he just is keenly aware that it doesn't matter what he says, right? I mean, is that really what's happening here?
That is. And on the other side, Sanders,
Yeah.
who is totally issue-driven.
Yeah.
Everything has an opinion and the right kind of thing. He also has that appeal.
Yeah.
To that intelligent young person or the revolutionary. And they both would probably, if they had an opponent, if Sanders had a Republican moderate or Trump had a Democratic moderate, they would both lose.
Yeah, interesting.
But Trump and Sanders have about captured 40% of the population each.
Yeah. What do you make of Bernie? So
I know
is there a
Bernie.
nostalgia, like a Brooklyn-born Jew? It must feel good for you, right?
I interviewed him when he was mayor of a city in Vermont.
Yeah.
As Jackie Mason said, every Jew growing up in New York moved to Miami Beach. Bernie went to Vermont.
That's funny.
Bernie's very smart. He's always been a socialist.
Yeah.
He believes in socialism, which is what most countries believe in. Most countries agree with Bernie. As England, England would support Bernie.
Right.
They believe in a social system where health is entitled. You're entitled to health.
Yeah.
But so he has a following. But there's never been a political, like you mentioned, there's never been a political year like this where the rational thinking moderate is gone.
Yeah.
Hillary, who has an appeal to what is the basic Democratic base, will probably win. She will probably win because Sanders can't catch her in the Democratic situation. The Sanders voters have nowhere to go. They either sit home,
Right.
or they can't vote for Trump or Cruz. They might vote for Kasich.
Do you think there's any chance they'd vote for Trump just because they want the system to be exposed? That's the thing that Bernie and Trump...
That's hard to figure, but I don't think... the problem he's gotten into, I think, is women. He will not get the women's vote, and more women vote than men, and he won't get the women's vote. The women's vote will be... I think the Democrats will get the largest women's vote in history.
Wow. If it's Trump. Or either way, probably, right?
Either way, Cruz too. And, they're 2-5 in Vegas. It just says Democrats versus Republicans. You got to put up $5 to win 2. If you pick the Republicans, you bet 2, you win 5.
Huh.
That's tremendous favor.
Those are big odds.
Democrats are favored big.
Wow. So what do you think?
But, pundits, the pundits have been wrong all along. Trump wasn't going to last. It was Bernie Sanders. Come on, Bernie Sanders. And they've been proven wrong.